Hi everyone, welcome back to Edureka, instructor-led online training portal. So in our previous classes, we were talking about concepts of Selenium, wherein we saw how to handle different controls on a web page. We saw how to handle the synchronization problems. We also saw how to work with the page object modeling, the additional tool that we are going to integrate with your Eclipse, which is your test-ng for reporting purposes and also our testing purposes, right? So now in our today's session, we are going to deal with development of framework from scratch, right? So what do you mean by a framework? Why do we use framework? And how to build framework? What are the different types of framework is what we are going to deal with in our today's session, right? So what do you mean by a framework basically? A framework is a set of guidelines which needs to be followed in order to perform some action, right? So this guidelines here in our projects, that is in our Selenium framework, is going to be the sequence or the set of modules, the set of the folder structure that is going to help you to set up your project in an organized way, right? So here there are multiple types of frameworks that is available in the market now. The first one is your data driven framework. The second one is your keyword driven framework. Third one is your modular framework, or you can also call it as method driven framework. And then a combination of one or more types, two or more types, is called as a hybrid framework. So this kind of framework we are going to develop. So in our today's session, we are going to deal with what is data driven framework, how do we achieve your data driven framework. So basically the framework that we are going to create is going to be a hybrid framework, which is a combination of data driven and also keyword driven, right? So let's get started. So what are we going to do? We are going to create a project. We are going to configure all the necessary requirements like your jar files, your driver executables, and we are going to create the repeatedly usable or reusable block of codes, which are nothing but your methods that we are going to use it every now and then that in order to work with it. All right. So now how do we work with your data driven, and what do you mean by data driven? So data driven is nothing but driving the data from an external source file, right? So the data is going to be, for example, say when you're going to log into an application, when you write a simple method, say login, what we do, we usually hard code your value, right? So we whatever username is and whatever password is, and we log into the application. Correct. But my requirement is every time I want to run the application, or every time I want to log into the application, I want a different set of data that has to be used in order to log into the application, right? It is not only one input data that I'm going to give. So in order to do this, what we are going to do, we are going to use your data driven framework, wherein we would be keeping the user credentials in an external file called as your Excel file, okay? And then we are going to drive that data into our program and we would be working with it. All right, so let's get started. Let me create a project which is going to be, as of now, which is going to be a Java project, right? So I'll go here, create, I'm sorry, I'll have to go back. Java project, and I would give a name as framework demo. All right, so let me click on next. I'll click on finish. All right, so here now what I'm going to do is, okay, I'm going to create So what you're going to do here is, now we are going to create some packages which we are going to use in order to execute our framework. So before that, we'll have to set up or configure the project, right? So what are the things that is required in order to configure our project? First is our jar file. So let me create a folder and I would be naming it as jars. Right? So in this, I am going to keep what? I am going to keep my Selenium standalone server jar file. So let me copy it from here itself because it's already available for me, right? So I'll copy it from here. I'm going to keep it here. And what is the next one that I need? I need my driver executable files. So I'm going to create something called as driver, and I would be copy pasting the driver executable. So let me take it from here. I'll keep it here. Alright, so this is what is mandatory. So once after this is done, what is my next step? My next step is to add this jar to the build path. Right click, go to build path, add to build path. So once after this is done, there is a new folder which gets created by name referenced libraries. So now my basic framework is ready for working. We can start working on this, right? So what is the next step that we are going to perform in order to start working with our framework? The first thing is I am going to create package by name utility. Okay, what is this utility? This utility is nothing but the generic files that we are going to use in order to work with our frameworks, right? So com.edureka.utility is the name that I'm going to give. So this contains the generic methods which we will be using for the entire operation of our framework running, okay, execution. So within this utility, I'm going to create the first class that I'm going to create is a class which is used in order to read my Excel file. Okay, so I'm not going to use your void main because the main method, because I'm going to convert it into testng and I'm going to work with it. So since this is a utility method, so I don't have to make it as any executable class because I don't have to run this class. This is just a method which I would be utilizing later on, right? So for that, what I'm going to do is I have already prepared a test data file. So it is just a test XLS file. So what does this contain? So this is going to contain only your username and passwords. I'm sorry for that. So that is what I'm going to paste it here. I'll show you what this file contains. So if you just open this file, let me open it from here itself. So what it contains, so this basically contains your username and password. Okay, so what it has your username abc@gmail.com and the password. Okay, so that is what I've kept it ready. So now what I'm going to do is, using this, I would be executing my script based on the username and password that I have kept it externally. So within this file, I'm going to create a method. So what is the method? I can just use anything, public, static, and I would be using a two-dimensional array because my username and password is a two value, right? So for that, I'm going to use your two-dimensional array as the return type, and then I would be using it as get data is my method name. So what does this method take? This method take two arguments. One is your file name, okay, one is your file name, and the second one is your sheet name, right? So which sheet am I referring to? So I'll tell you what is this sheet name, why do we have to use this sheet name, and why do we use this file name as well, right? So now, since this is a your Excel sheet, an external file, one important jars that we'll have to use is your POI jars. What is this POI? This POI is nothing but pour obfuscation interface, right? So this basically is a jar file which we are going to use in order to work with our Excel sheet. So you can download this POI jars from your Apache POI website, right? So I say POI download. Okay, so if you go here, you will have to go to this Apache POI download. Okay, so in this Apache POI, you can go with your archives. Always go with your archives. Do not go with the recent one. So if you go to this archives, you will be able to find the multiple archives. Okay, so here is your Apache archives wherein you can download your source files. So, or you can directly go with POI 3.14 download. Okay, if you give this, you can go with any POIs for that matter. So if you directly go here, you can download it from here, or you can either go here, go to your previous releases, and always make sure that you're going to download. So here I go. I always download your binary artifact. Okay, I click on this binary artifact, and here you would be able to see this poi bin 3.14, okay, or poi bin 3.12. Any previous versions are fine. Okay, you can go ahead and download this zip file. Alright, so just go ahead and download this zip file. Once you download this zip file, all you have to do is unzip this. So once you unzip this, you would be getting a folder like this. Okay, let me show you the folder that you are going to get. You will be getting a folder like this. So within this, you will have multiple folders. Can you see this libraries? So from this lib file, you're going to copy these common codec, and then from your OOXML lib, you're going to copy these two. And apart from that, you would also get two more extra files. So I have made a folder out of this. So let me copy this folder, and what I'll do, I am going to add it to my jar files. So here I would paste the folder that I have created. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just say copy, and then I would be adding this here. I would just say paste. So once I paste it, I'll have to add all these jar files into my build path. So I just go to build path, I say add to build path. So once this is added, now I'm completely set to work with my Excel files. So how do I work with my Excel files? Our Excel in our Selenium is considered to be a workbook, right? It is considered to be a workbook which has multiple sheets, and using those sheets you can start working. So one important thing that you'll have to know is each and every row needs to be calculated, and there's nothing called as columns in our Selenium. In your POI API, what you're supposed to call it as is, it is considered to be a cell. Okay, so one cell is considered to be a data set for us. So that is how we are going to deal with your Excel sheet. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to create an object of type file, okay, which is going to take the path of your file. So where is the file path coming from? The file path is coming from your argument list, correct? So download, now import your file from your java.io package. Okay, so you can start importing from your java.io package. Now we are going to create another file input stream object. Why do we use this file input stream? File input stream is basically an object which is used in order to read your data. Okay, file input stream fin is equal to new file input stream of file input stream of whatever object you have created here, right? So you're going to pass that file object as an argument. So let me now here your file input stream object is going to throw exception. So these are nothing but your checked exceptions. So in order to work with your checked exceptions, what we are going to do, we can either use your try catch block, or you can start throwing exception at this level. So let me start throwing exception. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to declare this exception, okay, throws exception. Right, so now, so do not worry about this error that you're getting, because since your method is returning a data, I've not added any return statement. That is the reason you get the error. So once you fix it, you'd be able to find it. Okay, so now what am I going to do? I'm going to start working with your workbooks, right? So let me start creating an object of type workbook. So workbook WB is equal to new XSSF workbook. So this is what I'm going to use. I'm not going to instantiate your workbook directly. Okay, so I'm going to use your XSSF workbook because it has multiple methods which help you to deal with your Excel file. So always import this from poi.ss.usermodel. Do not go with your XSSF. So I'm going to use your ss.usermodel. Okay. So now the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to create an object of type sheet. Okay. So let me take this sheet sh. okay, is equal to, what you're going to do is, using your workbook object, you're going to use a method called as getSheet, which would take an argument, and that argument is the sheet name that you're going to pass. So this sheet basically is a class which will help you to deal with the sheets that is present in a workbook. Alright, so now within a sheet, what you're going to deal with, you're going to deal with the row num, you're also going to deal with the column num, and you're going to start reading the data present in that cell, right? So now for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create an object, I'm going to create a variable, a temporary variable by name row num. So in your sheet class, there is a method called as getLastRowNum, right? So this getLastRowNum method will return the last row that has been utilized, right? So that is what it is going to return. And in your sheet class, there is another method called as getLastCellNum, which is going to return the last cell that is used in each row, right? For that, I'm going to use something called as another variable called as column_num, which is going to return. So here you have to get your last cell that has been used based on your rows, right? It is not directly going to return the cell that has been used in your Excel file, but it is going to return the cell that is being used in each and every row. So for that, what you're going to do is, you're going to get the row first, okay? And I'm going to take up the first index, because each and every cell has its own number, and your index of the first cell, that is the first row, starts with 0, right? In Java or your Selenium, anything for that matter, always your index starts with 0. So likewise in your Excel sheet as well, in this 0th row, what I'm going to get, I'm going to I'm going to get the last cell number. Okay, so this is going to return the last cell that has been returned, right? That has been used. So now let us start capturing the value that is present in this particular Excel sheet, right? So what I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to capture it in a two-dimensional array. So now I'm going to name it as data is equal to, what you're going to do, you're going to create new string of, I'm going to give the row num and I'm going to give the column num. So here I have this, and now I'm going to use your column num in order to create this object, correct? Oh, I'm sorry. So once this is done, I would start reading the values. How do I read the values? Until you have your row num and this column num, keep reading the value from the cells. For that, what I need? For that, I need a for loop, which will help you to read the data until the specified limit, right? So I start with int I is equals to 0. I less than what it is. First is your row num, right? First you'll have to enter into your row I plus plus, right? So now I'm inside my row. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get the row. For that, there is a class called row which would be used, okay? So row is equal to sh.getRow. So if you use this, you will be able to read each and every rows, right? So get row of I. So let me import this ss dot user model. Now once I read this row, I start reading the cell. So for that, in a row there might be multiple cells, right? So it is not only one cell that would be encountering. So since I have two data that has already been set up, which is your username and password, I again need another for loop which would help me to read the cell, right? So I take for int, again your j starts with your 0 itself, because your index is always starting with your 0, and then I go with j less than what it is, column num, right? So column num j plus plus. Now, in order to read this, what am I going to use? I'm going to create an object of type cell, which would help you to get your cell value. So here I give this get cell of j, right? So again, I import your cell from your ss.userModel, and then I would start reading the value from here. String value is equal to what it is, new I'm going to take data format, okay, because I want the data to be read in a format whichever is present, right? So data formatter. So let me take this formatter dot what it is, format cell value of the cell, right? So this is the one that I'm going to use. So once I use this, I start reading your data I of j, so this is your row and this is your column, is equal to value. So this is what I'm going to do. Then let me close this. So this is closed here and this is closed here. So once after I have read the data, I'm going to return what it is, your data, right? So your data is a two-dimensional array, so I'm returning that. So now my utility file is ready for my usage. So now once my utility file is ready, I'm going to write a driver script, a script to log into the application. So here I would be making use of your read Excel in order to read the data from your Excel sheet and start using the same. So for that, let me create another package. So I'll go with a new package. So here I am going to name it as testing, or I can also name it as test script. So let me name it as test scripts com.edureka.testscript, right? So this is what I'm going to use. Click on finish. I'll close this now. Okay. So the next one is I'm going to create a class called login script. Okay, so I'm not going to use this because I'm going to use your before method and your test annotation in order to run it. So now what is my setup? My setup is first I'll have to create a before method annotation which is going to launch the browser, navigate to the URL, and then it is going to maximize the browser. So whatever prerequisite that I want, I can set it up, and then I'm going to use your after method as well, which is going to close the browser, and then I'm going to use your test method, which is your actual execution of your program. So let me start working with it. So at the rate before method. So all right, before we use this, what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to convert your project into your testng, right? So let me go to testng, convert to testng, click on next, and then click on finish, right? So now I'm going to add your testng library. Right click on your project, go to build path, click on your configure build path, go to your libraries, click on add library, and then click on your testng, click next, and then click finish. Now apply and close. So now again you have your testng library added. So now what you're going to do, you are going to use your before method annotation. Okay, so here I'm going to create a method called as open browser. So I'm going to use this public void open browser, right? So now let me use your public, let me mark it as no, let me not take it as static, let it driver is equal to null. Let me import your WebDriver. Right, so once this is done, what am I going to do? I am going to set the system property. So sy system dot set property. Here is my key and here is my value. So what is my key? My key is WebDriver dot chrome dot driver, and my value is the path to my driver executable. So let me pick this up, let me keep it here. Okay, I would be keeping it here, and then what am I going to do? I am going to launch the browser. So here I say driver is equal to what it is, new Chrome driver, right? So this is what I'm going to use, and the next thing that I'm going to use is I'm going to maximize it, driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. Alright, and the next one is I'm going to use your timeouts, like your driver dot manage dot timeouts dot what it is, implicitly wait. Okay, so I'm going to give 10 time units as seconds. Okay, so if you want, you can use your page load timeouts as well. Most of the times it doesn't work, so I'm not going to use your page load timeouts. So this is your setting up of your browser profile. You can also delete cookies if you want. So driver.manage. So what you're going to do is delete your cookies, delete all cookies. So this can also be set up, and the next step is I want to navigate through your URL, right? So I say driver.get. So here we have a demo application like this. So it is your, let me give this HTTP. What it is new tours dot demo aut.com, right? So this is the application that I'm going to use, wherein I would be entering the username and password, and I would be signing in into this. Okay, so let me take up this URL. So my URL is now ready. So this is going to be my prerequisite, and now I am also going to create @after method annotation. Okay, and I would use it in order to close the browser, right? So what I'll be doing, I'll be using your driver.close method here. Okay, so now is the actual execution or the actual test script that we are going to automate. So what we are going to do, we are going to create @test method. Okay, so let me annotate it with the @test annotation. I would be naming it as login, public void login. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to use your try catch block in order to execute the methods. Why? Because see, in your framework you have to ensure that you have all possible try and catch mechanism or your exception handling mechanism, which would help you to not stop your execution, which would help you to continue with your execution even if there is an exception that is occurring, right? So for that I am going to use your try and catch block. Now what I'm going to do, the first thing that I'll have to do is capture your input data, right? So I use string data is equal to, I already have a program created. What is the name of the program? The program name is read excel dot get data. Why am I using your get data along with your class name? Because I have made it as your a static method, right? How is your static method accessed? Static methods are always accessed using your class name, right? So that is how we are going to access. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use your class, the file name. What is the file name that I've given? The file name that I've given is testxl.xlsx, right? So this is the file name. And what is the sheet name that I've given? So if you open the file, you'll be able to see the sheet name. The sheet name that I've given is, by default, it would be sheet 1 itself. So if you want, you can change it to login credentials, or you want to change it to whatever you want. I've kept it as sheet name, sheet 1 itself. Okay. So once after I have captured the data, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start reading the data one by one. Based on my input value, I'm going to start accessing or start running my script with my data set. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a for loop, because there are 5 rows, right? So I start with int I is equal to 1. Okay, I less than data dot length, right? And I give this I plus plus. Now what I'm capturing, I'm going to capture your username. String username is equal to what it is? Data I of 0. The first one is I and the second one is your 0. Okay, and then string password is equal to data, what it is? I of 1. So what is this 0 and 1? The 0 and 1 is your cell numbers, right? So the first row, first sets, the first row, second cell. So that is how I am going to capture, right? So once I have captured this, let me start writing my script, wherein I would be finding out, or I would be inspecting these elements, and I'm going to run your script based on the values that I have. So let me start working on it. So here I would be using this, and I would identify this. It has name is equal to username. So let me capture this. So let me add one line, driver dot find element by dot what it is, name, which is your username. First, let me clear the values. Okay, let me use this line. You'll understand what is the usage of it. Let me clear the values. Now let me start entering the value. I'm sorry. Driver dot find element by dot name, and I'm going to pass this username, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to send keys. So what is the keys that I'm going to pass? The key that I'm going to pass is your username, right? So likewise, I'm going to use your password as well. So let me identify your password field. Okay, wait, let me go here. So here again we have your password as the name. So I say driver dot find element by dot name, and I'm going to pass your password here dot send keys. So here is what I'm going to send. So password is the value that I'm going to send, and the next step of mine is I'll have to click on this login button or your sign in button. So I'm going to take login again, right? So it has a name called as login. So let me pick that up, and then I would be clicking on this driver dot find element by dot name, and I would be passing this here. I say dot click, right? So this is what I have set up. So once after we have logged in, what we are going to do, we have to capture, you have to do some kind of validation, but let us do the validation later. Okay, for now what we are going to do, we are going to write your catch block, right? Catch block exception e. So you can say, you can either print exception using your print stack trace, or you can write your customized messages as well. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. So this is how we are going to work with your driver in order to work with the different set of data. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to validate this. For example, say I'm going to give any set of data that I have here. So let me see. Let me open your Excel. Okay, so this is the sheet 1. Let me close this. This is the sheet 1. So this is the one that I'm going to use. Okay, let me paste it here. I'm sorry. What is the username? Username is abc@gmail.com. And what is the password? The password is abc123. Right? Now click on your sign in. So it says, welcome back to Mercury Tours. Enter your user information to access the member only area. So let me capture this. So let me capture this and check whether this is going to work properly or not. So here it is. So I have this B. Welcome back to. So let me write your XPath for this. Okay. So what it is your B. Okay. Let me use your contains function. Contains text, comma, this is the value that I'm going to give. So here I have captured it successfully. So let me take this up now. Okay, what I'm going to do, let me close this. Don't save. So here what I'll be doing, I'll be using your string actual result, let me take it like this, is equal to, what is this? Driver dot find element by dot XPath. I'm going to pass this XPath here, and then I say dot get text. Okay, so this is what I'm going to give, and again I'm going to use your string expected result is equal to, what is the value? I can give the value here directly. So let me copy this. I am going to copy only so much. Okay, because I'm capturing only so much, I can use it only so much. I can use only so much, or you can keep complete things. Okay, you can capture complete things. So let me use it here. So now what we are going to do, we are going to copy the entire value, okay, from here, and then we can just assert half of the values. We can do a validation for half of the value. So here I'll be using this. Okay, fill out the registration, or if you want you can completely take it up, registration. Okay, so now what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a assert statement. Okay, so you say assert dot, or you can just use this if actual result or expected result dot contains, okay, what it is, actual result. Just say, or just print what you can print. You can just print test case passed. Okay, you can just report it. I'm going to use your reporter dot log. I'm just going to log it. Okay, all right. So else you can just use your reporter dot log and you say unable to execute the script. Okay, you can just mention it like that. So once after this is done, so since we are not logging into the application properly, so I'll just go back. I just say driver.navigate.back. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. So let me see whether my script is going to work or not. So before that, we'll understand what we have done. So the first thing that we did is we have created a utility file called as your read Excel. So which is basically used in order to read the data from your Excel sheet. So for this, we are going to create a file input stream object, and we are going to make use of your workbook class and your sheet class in order to get the address of your workbook, and also in order to get the data of your workbook, right? And then what we are going to do is we are going to return the data that we are capturing from that particular sheet to the program which is calling it. So in our login script, what we are going to do, we are going to read the data from Excel and we are going to start capturing the values. So when I run this code, in order to run this code, what am I supposed to do? I am supposed to configure your testng.xml file. So let me start configuring your testng.xml file here. So let me go to source. So here what I'm going to do, under my test, I'm going to create classes, right? And within my classes, I'm going to create class, right? So here I would be giving the name of my class. What is the name of my class? My class name is test scripts. So test scripts, okay, let me give the full path, com.edureka.test scripts dot, what is the name? Login script is the class that I'll have to run, right? So this is what I'm going to provide. So let me give this within single quotes. Alright, so I am going to use your thread count. Let me remove this thread count. Let me run it for 5 times. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run your suite and see what actually it does, right? So run as testng suite. So now, according to my program, what it is supposed to do, it is supposed to log into the, launch your browser, navigate through the URL, right? Capture the data, username and password from your Excel sheet, and it has to start executing, right? So now it is navigating through your URL. So it would capture the data, starts reading the data from your Excel. All right, let me see what has went wrong. So here it says null pointer exception read. Okay, all right, got it. So let me close this. No such element unable to locate your XPath is what it says, which means the problem is with your selector. The XPath which we have written is not matching with the value that we have. So let me comment this. Okay, the validation part will skip and we will run your script and check what it is going to do. Alright, so now it is going to perfect. It is slow navigating through the URL. Alright, there's an exception. So the exception is null pointer exception, which is in your read Excel file. Okay, let me see where it is. So sheet name, the sheet name that I've passed is what? The sheet name, wait, let me go to your read Excel. What is the sheet name? Perfect. So this is the sheet name I've taken. So where is my sheet name which I've passed? This is the one. Let me open my Excel sheet and check what is the name that I've given. Okay, the name, Alright. So the name that I've given is sheet 1. Let me copy the same name. Okay, and let me paste it here. Alright, so now perfect. Let me run this now. Run as testng test. Okay, now it is going to launch your browser, navigate through your URL, and then, alright, where's my Eclipse? Perfect. So now it says, again, it says null pointer exception. The sheet name that I've given int row num is equal to sh dot get last row num. Yes, so this get last row num is going to provide the sheet name. Alright, so the sheet name that I've passed is, so this is correct. Get last row now. Alright, I got it now. This is because I have to start it from your first row, because the 0th row is always your index, right? So that is the reason it is throwing an exception. So let me run this now. I'm sorry, I missed on that part. Alright, again I have the same thing. Okay, line 21. I think the problem is with your sheet name and the file name. Alright, so the problem is not with your sheet name. The problem is I've not passed the input stream object to this at all, right? So this is the problem. Alright, I'm sorry, you start typing, you forget to pass this object, so it doesn't work. Because of the overloading of methods, it is going to create a problem. It is not taking the workbook at all. So when your workbook itself is not captured, then it is no use, no point in giving you the sheet, right? Alright, so again, yeah, can you see? Now it is going to type in your username, it is going to enter the password. So it start working based on your, what to say, details that you have passed. So here you get your result wherein it says your test scripts has passed and you would be able to work with it. Okay, so this is how you perform your data driven testing, which means you're going to capture the data from your Excel sheet, that is an external file, and start driving the set of data into your programs, and then you execute the same, right? So for this, what you're going to do, you're going to use your POI APIs in order to work with them. So using this POI APIs, you can create an object of type your workbook, your sheet, and start accessing your sheet name based on whatever test data you have kept, and then you're going to run your test data. Alright, so in our today's session we have seen how to work with the data driven testing, and in tomorrow's class we are going to deal with the the keyword driven testing, which we are going to use in order to set up our framework. Alright, so in case if you have any questions, please feel free to drop us an email, or you can also contact our support team. And yes, your feedback is very important, as we request you always, be it your ideas, your suggestions, or your, what to say, complaints. We are open for everything. So please take up your survey and help us to serve you better. All right, so let's meet in the next class. I hope you guys would follow up, practice all these things whatever we have discussed in today's class before you come back to the next class, so that will help you in order to understand the concept better. Until your next class, see you guys. Bye bye.